First, there were the Negro children of the corn. Then it was the summer of the savage. And this year it will be the season of the simp. With all these beta males out here currently participating in a spectrum of violent behaviors, I fear we may be in for something worse than the summer of the savage. I fear we may be in for the season of the simp. And the reason why we're in the season of the simp is because we have all of these beta males out here who are becoming more and more frustrated, more and more angry, and more they are lashing out at a world where they feel they have no place in due to the gynocentric culture that has established the man crisis that we have going on right now. And I fear that this summer may be the season of the simp, and I fear we may be in for a real life horror movie going on all across this country and all across the West. Because once school lets out this summer, we're going to have a whole host of beta males with idle hands. And because these beta males have idle hands, we're going to have a devil's workshop going on all across this country, because many of these men, they just don't have any male life skills, any male survival skills, or any sort of plan to do anything constructive with their lives. And when you have bands of roaming males running around with no guidance, no leadership, and no structure, we're going to have havoc in the streets, because that's what happens when you have large groups of males without any fathers in the home or any sort of male guidance. And that's why I say it's going to be like a real life horror movie, something similar to your Halloween series. And what's really scary about this one is that because it's the season of the simp, we've got a whole host of beta male Michael Myers running around, and they're going to terrorize the entire country with their extremely dysfunctional and violent behavior. We're starting to see a glimpse of that right now with what happened recently at the Mall of America, where we had this beta male who was so angry because he couldn't get the attention of women, he decided to grab a 5-year-old boy and throw him over the railing on the 3rd floor to his death, all because he was angry because he couldn't get the attention of women. And we had another beta male who was angry because he had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend didn't do what he wanted and didn't come in at the time that he wanted, so he decided to murder that girlfriend. And then we had another man who decided to murder his wife because his side piece was pregnant, and another man who murdered his entire family, all because he had a side piece. And these are the spectrum of violent behaviors that your beta males are going to participate in. And this is in addition to possibly maybe 1 or 2 mass shootings, because your beta males, many of these men have no critical thinking skills, they can't use logic and reason, and they can't problem solve. And that's why I say we are going to be in the season of the simp this summer, with all of these incels roaming around and many more of these beta males who are out here who have relationships with girlfriends, and the minute they can't get their way, they're looking to beat on their girlfriends or murder them. And some of these guys are so insecure that the least glance that somebody takes at their girl or even says hi to them, that's the minute they're going off on that guy, looking to either beat a man to death, or they're looking to go out here and go and try to shoot a man, all because he took a wrong glance at his girlfriend, who was dressed provocatively, because we've got all of these psycho simps and power simps out here, men who have no control over their emotions. This is the power simp, a man who has completely no control over his emotions, and the psycho simp, a man who goes completely berserk whenever he can't get his way with a woman or because things aren't going the way he wants. And when you have hot temperatures and women out on the street, this is where you're going to have the season of the simp going on. And these incels, these beta males, these power simps, these psycho simps, all going berserk, participating in a spectrum of these violent behaviors, just like the ones I mentioned, and the incident that transpired at the Waffle House a couple of weeks ago that cost a man his life, who was out here simping, trying to show all of his money to play like he's a big shot, and then this female felt entitled to that man's money, and this other simp, thinking that this man was getting attention from women, decided to go and kill this man. This is what I'm seeing that's going to go on, and this is why I'm calling it the season of the simp, because we've got all of these simps out here, and these men are going to be wreaking havoc all this summer, and it's going to create, as I see it, scarily create a bloodbath all across America and all across the West, especially in areas that are heavily populated with guys who come from these single mother households. Because when you have large populations of males who come from single mother households, they are ticking time bombs. And what's really scary about these ticking time bombs is you never know when they're going to go off, what they're going to do when they go off, or what damage they will participate in when they go off. And that behavior could lead to anything ranging from a physical assault, from a slap to a woman's face, to a fist fight with a guy over a woman, to a guy getting mad because he got his shoes stepped on, or a guy looking at him, all the way to guys going out here and using their car to run over someone, to even extreme acts of violence like that beta male who threw that 5-year-old over the railing at that Mall of America, all the way up to a mass shooting. And that's what's really terrifying about these beta males and the season of the simp, is you just don't know what they're going to do when they go off, or what type of violence they will participate in when they go off. All you can do in these situations is try your best to be as alert as possible and try to keep your head on a swivel out here, because once one of these beta males participates in one of their spectrum of violent behaviors, they could turn any situation you're in into a real life horror movie. And the best thing you can do is try to make sure that you don't become a victim of their violence in that real life horror movie by keeping your head on that swivel, because all it takes is for one incident to go the wrong way and you could wind up a casualty on the list of this psychotic beta male's violence, and you could wind up being dead or severely injured as a result of it. And that's one of the scariest things about the season of the simp, is you never know what this man is going to do in any situation, because oftentimes these guys are so quiet and unassuming looking, you never think that they would be that type of person to do this type of thing, but they could turn any social situation into a bloodbath and a complete horror movie. And that's one of the most terrifying things about living in America during the season of the simp. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to pick up my book to learn about the dysfunctional behaviors of beta males, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, or Stop Simping in the Workplace, or the book that details all the dysfunctional behaviors that lead up to this man crisis we're in, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle version, or you can pick up all of those books on Smashwords or the iBookstore. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.